Hey guys, it's JStars360, and can my t-shirt stay under? That'll do. Here with the worst list. These are the worst movies that I saw this year. Just for the record, these movies aren't necessarily awful. I mean, I don't hate good chunk of these movies. I mean, there's one or two on here I hate, but for the most part, these aren't movies that are necessarily bad. They're just, of the ones I saw, these are the ones that really didn't leave much, that left the least lasting impression on me, the ones I really didn't care for the most. Again, most films on here are just alright. Only towards the end are you going to see some really bad ones. So, and again, most of these I have reviewed on my channel, so if you want, you just check out my channel. I'm sure you'll find them. So, without further ado, let's go. We're going to do 10 worst films I saw this year. Go from the least awful to the most awful. At number 10, we have About Time. Reason why this is on here, number one, I just feel like it goes on too long. They don't focus on the father and son relationship enough, and also, I'm not that big a fan of romantic comedies. It's not my flick. Reason why it's on here is it's alright, and the film does have heart, but again, not big on romantic comedies. Again, there's a nice heartwarming message in there, but again, I'm just not big on romantic comedies. And I'm starting to regret. Number 9, For the Dark World. This film was alright. It was fun, which is why it's low on the list, but the reason why it's still on here is because I wasn't as engaged in the characters and story this time around. Not enough focus on Loki, way too much of Natalie Portman's and Thor's relationship, which isn't really that interesting. And really slow first hour. Like, this film took forever to get going. Number 8, Man of Steel. I don't hate this film as much as some people do, but, was kind of a little disappointed with it at first. Not really second time around. I guess with repeating viewings, it'll leave less and less of an impression. It is fun. There's some cool action, but, there really isn't that much to the characters and story. I mean, this film basically turns into a giant explosion action fest, which is not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the stuff from the Nolan films, all that awesome character and story stuff, in a Superman movie, and unfortunately I didn't get that. Number 7 is Oz the Great and Powerful. This film was alright. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It did have some heart and charm. It was true to the spirit of Wizard of Oz. There was not much character and story, though. I really wasn't that engaged in the characters and story. It was alright, but I don't know. Didn't really care for this film much. Kind of forgettable. I mean, if you're stuck seeing it, it's not that bad, but at the same time, it's like, there's much better movies that came out this year that you could check out. Next, hang on, I keep losing count. 1, 2, 8, 7, 6. Oh yeah, number 6 is Warm Bodies. This film was disappointing. I mean, it's a zombie apocalypse movie told from the zombies' perspective. That's brilliant. And for the beginning, it's like, this is a really fantastic setup, and then it just turns into a teen romance movie, which was not that interesting. It's generic. I really didn't care for it that much. Lots of stuff I've seen before in countless romance movies, plots, and also I'm not big a fan of romance movies. I haven't read the book. Maybe the book's better, more interesting, but this just seemed like a generic love story, and shame. It showed so much promise. Number 5 is Despicable Me 2. Funny, but I don't know. It just felt a little messy. Like, the writers really didn't know what to do, so they just threw in as many gags as they could. Number 4, no, I'm going to get hate for this, but Desolation of Smog. I think these Hobbit movies are reaching the point where they're what the prequels were of Star Wars to the original trilogy. The Hobbit trilogy is becoming that for Lord of the Rings, except no one notices. These movies aren't that bad. In fact, they would be kind of enjoyable if it wasn't for the fact that Peter Jackson's trying to make The Hobbit Lord of the Rings, and it's not Lord of the Rings. He's adding all this filler, making this small story a grand story, and it just doesn't work. There's tons of stuff in here that doesn't add to anything. The story's being stretched out more than it needs to, and it's just really boring. If you just edited it, cut it, kept it short, simple, and sweet, it would be much more engaging and much more effective. And if all three movies are on DVD, someone make a fan edit version, and it'll be like 2.5 hours. It'll be 10 times better. But yeah, let down. Not looking forward to the third movie. It's just gonna be a whole lot of nothing but running around. Number 3, Lone Ranger. Uninteresting story, uninteresting characters. There is some humor to keep you awake. Depp's doing a good job. There is a really fun climax in this movie, but again, that one fun scene is not enough to save the movie. It doesn't hurt that this movie is 2.5 hours long. It feels longer than that. You just want it to end, and oh my gosh. But that's the worst movie I saw in theaters. The next two are ones I didn't see in theaters. And they are, number 2 is Escape from Planet Earth, which don't see unless you're a little kid. In fact, if you're a little kid, there's better animated films out there. Just dumb Saturday morning cartoonish movie. It wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon movie, but that's what it feels like. That's the quality of it. And not the good Saturday morning cartoons, but the bad ones. That's what this feels like. And then number 1 is Planes. This is a lazy, half-assed film. Story, generic, recycled, no creativity. Characters are boring and unoriginal. This film is so bad, I actually made me miss Cars 2. Like, for as much as I'm disappointed and didn't like Cars 2, I would gladly watch it over this movie, because it's clearly just Disney just trying to make money. And that's disappointing. So yeah, those are the worst films I saw this year. What were the worst films that you saw this year? Please comment and let me know. Like, dislike, subscribe, comment, yada yada yada. JStar360 signing out.